Welcome to today's Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're here with us because today we're going to completely flip how you look at something we literally interact with every single day: global water abundance. Think back to that famous Apollo 17 blue marble photograph taken from space, right? That beautiful, swirling, giant blue sphere. It's kind of permanently baked a sense of total security into human civilization when it comes to our natural resources. From a super young age, we're taught that water is just everywhere, like this endless, comforting blanket wrapping our planet. And honestly, that imagery makes us feel totally limitless. But today, we're going to pull back the curtain on that psychological trap, look at the hard data, and explore the actual, pretty sobering reality of our water supply. Okay, let's dive into this, because frankly, it is super easy to see why we're all a bit deceived. Nearly 70% of the entire world is covered by water. That is a colossal planetary footprint. Think about the last time you stood on a beach just looking out at the horizon. The ocean truly seems infinite, doesn't it? And stats like this create a really powerful visual illusion for us. They just reinforce that deep-seated feeling that we live on this boundless blue planet, where water is basically an endless resource, something we could never ever possibly deplete. It's so easy to internalize that 70% figure and instinctively think, wait, how could we ever run out? We are practically swimming in this stuff. Now, what's really interesting about this is it's the sobering reality that completely shatters that illusion. Just 2.5%. Out of all that vast, sweeping blue covering the globe, only 2.5% of it is actually freshwater. That is it. Suddenly, that boundless blue ocean looks a lot less like an endless supply and, well, a lot more like a mirage. And to add even a bit more technical depth to this, the vast majority of that tiny 2.5% isn't even accessible to us. Most of it is permanently locked away in remote glaciers, ice caps, or buried deep, deep down in underground aquifers. So the actual surface water, the lakes and rivers we can readily use to sustain crops, support our ecosystems, and ultimately keep us alive, it's just a fraction of a fraction. And this brilliantly illustrates the great divide of our planet. On one side, you've got the massive, overwhelming majority of our planet's water, which is saline and ocean-based. Sure, it's beautiful, but it is completely undrinkable, totally unusable for daily human survival in its natural state. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Why not just remove the salt? Well, desalination technology does exist, absolutely, but it requires immense industrial infrastructure, astronomical financial investments, and just massive, massive amounts of electricity. Not to mention, it produces these highly toxic brine byproducts. So it's an incredibly expensive, high-energy process, not some magic wand we can just wave. Then, on the exact opposite side of that divide, we have our incredibly fragile, incredibly limited freshwater supply, just trying to sustain a massive global population all on its own. Which brings us to the staggering human scale of this crisis: 2.2 billion. I really want you to let the heavy weight of that number sink in for a second. Right now, as you and I just go about our daily routines, 2.2 billion people are living without access to safe water. So what does that actually look like on the ground? It means millions of women and children walking up to 5 miles a day in scorching heat, carrying heavy jerry cans, literally just to fetch water that might honestly still be contaminated. It means a constant, terrifying vulnerability to debilitating waterborne illnesses. So this isn't just some abstract statistic on a page. It is a daily grueling survival marathon for families and communities all over the world. It completely shatters that whole illusion of abundance we started with. So, the crucial point is, we are looking at a ticking clock here. The data projects that by the year 2025, half of the entire world's population will be living in water-stressed areas. Half the globe. But let's break that down. What does water-stressed actually mean for the everyday person? Well, it means local municipal aquifers running entirely dry. It means strict, legally enforced water rationing for households. It means widespread agricultural failures because farmers just cannot irrigate their crops, which, as you can guess, leads to skyrocketing food prices and severe economic disruption. This is not some distant sci-fi scenario for our great-grandchildren. This is right around the corner. We are rapidly transitioning to a global reality where literally 1 in 2 people will feel this immense strain. Which leads me to ask you this: how much water is needed to produce the things we use every single day? I want us to truly ponder the hidden water economy for a minute. Because we don't just consume water when we turn on the kitchen tap, we consume it indirectly through every single manufactured good we buy. So let's look at the actual numbers. It takes roughly 140 liters of water to grow, process, and transport the beans for just one single morning cup of coffee. 1 cup. That plain cotton t-shirt hanging in your closet, that took about 2,700 liters of water to produce. And the smartphone you might be holding right now required thousands upon thousands of liters just for its microchips and mining processes. The indirect waste required to fuel our modern lives takes a massive, totally unseen toll on that tiny 2.5% supply. Let's move to and see how this builds, because this isn't just a doom and gloom story of scarcity, it's actually a story of actionable power. You might be feeling a little overwhelmed right now, but look at the concrete impact you can personally make. By simply reducing your shower time to just 5 minutes, you achieve these massive dual environmental benefits. First off, you save thousands of liters of water every single year. But second, and this is where the incredible aha moment of the water energy nexus comes in, you save hundreds of kilograms of CO2 emissions annually. Why? Well, think about it. Pumping water from a reservoir, treating it at a plant, pushing it through miles of municipal pipes, and then heating it up in your home, that requires immense amounts of electricity and gas. So a 5-minute shower, it's a total powerhouse move for both the water crisis and our climate. Ultimately, we arrive at the simplest, most powerful thesis from our data today. There is one straightforward step you can take immediately that will make a big difference. Don't waste water. I know, it sounds incredibly basic, but really think about your daily invisible habits. Ignoring a silently running toilet, running half-empty dishwashers, or, just leaving the tap on while you brush your teeth. These rapid-fire examples of waste constantly drain our most precious resource. Every single drop is a vital part of that fragile 2.5%. Every drop saved respects the 2.2 billion people walking miles a day who absolutely do not have that luxury. And every drop conserved pushes back against the catastrophic impacts of that looming 2025 deadline. It's direct, it's actionable, and the power rests entirely in your hands. I want to leave you with this final provocative thought to take with you after this explainer. If a simple 5 minutes in the shower can actively help save thousands of liters of water, reduce carbon emissions, and help protect the planet, what are you doing with the rest of your day? Really think about the hidden water in the clothes you wear, the food you eat, and the quiet, everyday choices you make from morning to night. The reality of our global water supply is undeniably clear, but so is your individual power to rewrite its future. Every single drop counts. And you guys, the timer is ticking.